Hey, good morning, South Central Montana. It's 6 minutes after the hour of 6 a.m. It is Thursday, June 6th, DDay, 75th anniversary, 2019, 55 degrees outside. Shane Matobin, half man, half amazing, on the line with me from Vancouver, British Columbia. Tommy Galoff, your morning mayor, in the house, and this is the KMMS Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane. If you want to be a part of the big broadcast, 522-TALK is the number, 522-8255. You can also get us on our brand new app chat, Shane. App chat, yeah, on our
app chat
on your cell phone. Yeah, go over there right next to Listen to Us. You'll see a button that says App Chat. You can either send a general message or at the very top of the screen, there's a little tiny arrow on the right-hand side, and you can send a message directly to Tom and Shane if you want. So there you are. So you can use our app chat. Of course, you can go to our Facebook page, facebook.com/KMMSAM, and comment there. And hey, download, yeah. And if you missed any of our shows, of course, we are over 800 downloads on 150 some shows. So we're very thankful that you guys like to download the show and listen to us. They're commercial free, of course, and news free and all that. So all you get is the content of the show. So it's a pretty good deal. So, yeah. And I mentioned that because between the 8 and 9 hour, we're going to do some D-Day stuff between 8 and 9. And if you're at work or wherever and you want to rehear that, head over to our broadcast, rebroadcast, I should say. Just go to KMMSAM.com. on either your smartphone or on your computer. And just click on Tom and Shane Podcasts, and they'll be right there. So check it out. So here we are.
Yes, indeed. Here we are. What a day.
Hey,
a day of history.
Well,
a day of history,
yeah.
A day of history, a day of joy, and we're alive.
Yeah, we're still here thanks to those people 75 years ago. We're not speaking German.
Right. Exactly, yeah. Sprechen Sie Deutsch?
Yeah, right.
We'd be listening to Babel.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, Babel would be a big seller here.
Yeah.
All right. They took the snow out of the forecast.
Well, I wouldn't hold up on that one.
You don't think so?
January is here, my friend.
Yeah,
it is cold, and it is cold and rainy, and you're going to get lots of it. So
that's what we're looking at here. Today's pretty nice. We're looking for a high of 82 degrees, an overnight low of 50. Scattered thunderstorms through the area, but there's only probably about a 45% chance of thunderstorms in your area. So you got about a 4 in 6 chance of seeing rain somewhere wherever you are today. But Friday, it's a different story. We go down to 52 degrees, overnight low of 36. Rain all day long, probably starting with your commute about 7 or 8 o'clock in the morning. And it's going to rain all day into the early and late evening. So they're looking for about a half inch of rain or more. And then Saturday, 53 will be the high, 34 the overnight low. The showers taper off to about 25% chance after that. And then Sunday looks pretty good, 63 for the high, 39 the overnight low, and sunny. And then the temps start going back up on Monday, 69 and partly cloudy, 70 on Tuesday, 76 on Wednesday, 79 on Thursday, 77 on Friday. And then the rain moves back in next Saturday. 75 will be the high with some PM thunderstorms, about 50% worth. So,
and this prediction can be updated at any time. At
any time, yeah. Get your weather anytime you want it at KMMSAM.com or on your smartphone at AM 1450 KMMS. Temperatures around the area right now, Livingston is 54 degrees, clear over there. Manhattan is 50. Three Forks is 49. Gallatin Gateway is 55. Ennis is 56. Big Sky is 46. And at the airport in Belgrade, it's 51 degrees right now. And at our lavishly appointed studios here at 10 minutes after the hour of 6 a.m., it is 56 balmy degrees. Pretty nice out there. I don't even bother to wear a coat to work anymore. And that sun keeps making those mountains brighter every drive in this morning, Shane. It's pretty nice out there.
Got to get those sunglasses out.
I do. I'm gonna have to get get what those shade things they offer on the on the infomercials all the time, the pull down shade thing. Yeah, I'll be needing that pretty shortly.
Ray-Ban, baby.
All right. Well, this day in history, of course, it is D-Day, and we'll be talking about that in the 8 to 9 hour today. So,
but in the meantime,
guess what?
YMCA. Yeah. YMCA. Okay, go.
That's the agreement between Canada and Mexico, isn't it? The YMCA? No, it's the USMCA. I'm sorry. Well, in 1844, yes, the YMCA, the Young Men's Christian Association, was founded in all places, London.
Yes, by Sir George Williams, and he wanted to practice and the develop of a healthy minds of body, mind, and spirit of young children. 64 million members worldwide, and the most important thing that I wanted to bring up today, because we want to get through this so fast.
Yeah,
Henry Dunant was one of the co-founders of the YMCA in 1852, and was in let's see, what was it? 1901. He was the first Nobel Peace Prize winner.
Really, the first one.
For founding the International Committee of the Red Cross in 1863. So these guys are, deal makers.
They were big deals. Yeah. Well, another big deal, 1925, Walter Percy Chrysler founded the Chrysler Corporation, which was bailed out, then sold to Fiat. And then Fiat and what, Renault, that deal went south. So
and then Mercedes took a shot at it.
Yeah. So So there we are. We bailed out a foreign corporation. Thank you very much, right. American taxpayers. Good for you.
You changed hands more often than you changed your underwear.
That's for sure. 1933, the first drive-in movie theater opened in Camden County, New Jersey.
Yes, and it was the Hollingshead Drive-In.
Yeah.
1933, and there were two things that were important. They came up with a sound box that you hung in your window.
Yep.
And it was angle parking, so you could see it perfectly. And I love them. I miss them. I wish they were still around. Great to take kids.
I feel so sorry for the kids that didn't get to experience a drive-in movie with all the ridiculous movies they used to have, the Axe Murderers and the Blob and the whatever.
And amazingly enough, Hollingshead applied for a patent in August 6, 1932, and he got patent 1,909,537. Well, there you go.
Oh, all right. Yeah, drive-in, that was an experience, man. That was a rite of passage growing up, taking your girl to the drive-in and, or a couple of couples to the drive-in and, steaming up the windows. And
that was a big thing, let's not go there. Right. That was high school.
That's right, yeah. 1934, the Securities and Exchange Commission was established, the SEC that is after Tesla. They're after everybody, it seems like these days, Shane.
That's right. And after the crash of 29 in 34, Roosevelt named Joseph P. Kennedy a self-made multi-millionaire at the time. And, of course, he knew all the ins and outs of Wall Street because he did so well there.
That's right. Yes, he did.
So, then he went on to make him the ambassador to England, which is not a cheap job because you got to pay for all your expenses.
Wow. Well, he could afford it, so.
Yeah, he could afford it.
So. Well, in 1966, black activist James Meredith was shot and wounded as he walked along a Mississippi highway to encourage black voter registration. Yeah, we all remember that. Well, not all of us, but some of us do.
And he was, he was an Air Force veteran. In 1962, he became the first African-American student admitted to the segregated University of Mississippi. Imagine that.
I know, man. That was a big deal, yeah.
It was a big deal.
Yeah. Well, during that same time, of course, the Civil Rights Movement, 1968, Senator Robert F. Kennedy died at Good Samaritan Hospital in L.A. a day after he was shot by Sirhan Sirhan.
He was probably the only person that could have beat Nixon, and it was sad.
At that time, sad. That would be
he was probably the one person that could have beat Nixon.
Yep.
What a hard reality for a family, that wanted to provide service to their country.
Yeah. Well, I don't know.
We all lived through it. Those of us who remember it,
Yeah, that was quite a time, boy. That's when America really changed. You know, I think during that civil rights period we lost our innocence, and 9/11, of course, really slammed the door on the way America used to be, the simplicity of it, the safety of it, all of this this 20, 30-year period really changed America dramatically. And some say for the best, and some say for the worst. Kind of depends on your point of view and where you're looking at it from. So,
and not far after Martin Luther King was assassinated.
That's true too. We had assassinations all over the place there. Kennedy, JFK a few years earlier, and then 68. Both Martin Luther King and Kennedy within weeks of each other, months of each other.
And someone tried to take George Wallace out.
Yeah, so, I mean, that's true. Yeah, he was shot as well. So. Yeah, equal opportunity.
Tom, come on. We want to go viral, but not on that.
1978, California voters overwhelmingly approved Proposition 13, a ballot measure calling for major cuts in property taxes. And that's a double-edged sword. Proposition 13 is a pretty good... Well, what it basically says is that when you move into your house, your property taxes never change till you leave.
Correct. Yeah.
And one of the groups that don't like that, of course, are real estate agents, because they want you to move. They want you to get out of there. Let's go to another house. Let's go bigger. Let's go smaller. Let's go somewhere. But the other good thing about it was that keeping the property taxes there, there was a tendency for you to fix up your home and keep it in good repair.
Well, and the other thing that was huge about it was a proposition on the ballot for the election, during that election season, and it created the opportunity for citizens to now vote on specific things, because in the state of California, it's been a lock by the Democrats for 70 years of the House, the Senate, and the governor's mansion. So the propositions, in California on the ballot every year can be as many as 10 now. So it's a great. Direct elections are great. We talked about that last week.
There you go. All right, we got to take care of the farmers, ranchers, cab drivers, truck drivers, anybody that brings you food, clothing, or beer, and or booze. I guess let's not limit ourselves.
No, that's not. Because they all listen to us too.
That's right, they all do, and we all appreciate it. So, Montana News and Ag up next, and some words from Babel as well. So we'll be right back. Well, I'm not sure what happened to the Ag Network, but we'll go right on without them. So we apologize for that. Not sure where the Ag Network went, but we'll be happy to persevere on with this day in history. So let's see. 1982, Israeli forces invaded Lebanon to drive PLO fighters out of the country. The Palestinian Liberation Organization.
That's right. And as we said, after World War I, Lebanon was created for a safe space, as they would say today, for Christians. And it had relatively sort of succeeded up until this time. But the real thing about this was Reagan sent in the Marines to help the Israelis, and so did the French. And there was a truck bomb equivalent of 6 tons of TNT blew up outside the U.S. and French barracks, killing 241 U.S. servicemen and 58 French troopers. Reagan was so upset about it, he sent the Missouri, if you remember, the last military use of the Missouri, and it sat there for 2 weeks and bombarded all of the PLO settings. That's just remarkable to realize that that ship was still available even then after World War II.
There you go. From our text line, 478-8298, I just love how Babel assumes that we all want to be like Europeans. Geez, isn't it a fact that we left Europe because we didn't want to be like them?
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah.
Probably right. Well, I think Babel's a European business anyway. I'm not sure, but I think it.
And English is the global language.
Yeah, so... Yeah, if we can only speak it properly.
That's right.
Otherwise, be a pretty good deal. 1985, authorities in Brazil exhumed a body later identified as Dr. Joseph Mengele. Mengele?
Mengele.
Mengele, well, ends in E, but I guess it's a
German name. It's a German.
Germany, yeah, okay. The Nazi doctor who conducted medical experiments on inmates at Auschwitz during World War II. So
very sad.
Nasty guy.
Very nasty guy, and wow.
Yeah.
Don't need to talk much more about it than that.
No, it's pretty atrocities beyond belief this guy did. But
yeah,
man, something. 1990, the Two Live Crew album, As Nasty as You Want to Be, was ruled obscene by a federal judge in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Remember Two Live Crew, Shane?
Yeah, I do. Imagine with some of the music that has come around the last 20 years, with that judge would be rolling like in his robe.
Well, I was going to say, yeah,
Tupac and all those boys.
I was going to say what they play today, man. If you take out the F words, you don't have any music. Or you don't have any lyrics, I should say.
Yeah, exactly. And I have to say this because it's so funny. Remember that Clinton, to get people to her gatherings, would have people like that singing?
Yeah.
And the last big one in Philadelphia, they were out there swearing on the stage so bad she didn't want to go out and speak afterwards.
I know.
Like, oh
yeah,
my
wow.
God.
Holy smokes. I don't want to associate my folks with these people.
No.
2011, after days of denials, Representative Anthony Weiner, a Democrat of New York, confessed that he had tweeted a lewd photo of himself to a woman and admitted to inappropriate exchanges with 6 women. So,
well, first of all, they were lewd of his private.
All right, yeah.
With the name Weiner, and then second of all, they were children. That's what.
Well, yeah, they were. They were underage girls, I believe. At the time,
what a legacy,
so.
You're gonna be remembered. The guy with the first selfie of himself.
Yeah.
What a legacy.
I don't know what people are thinking that do this. I mean, I'm pretty sure. I would bet right now, Shane, I'll bet everything you have that 100% of the people listening to this program right now do not want to see a private selfie of me.
Or me. No.
I think we're on safe ground. Yeah.
Exactly.
We're on safe ground, I think, there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
All right. Well, there's not too many notable birthdays today other than Nathan Hale, certainly a name from American Revolutionary history, the Patriot. Only lived to 21, Shane. 21
Very
years
young
old,
age.
Yeah, 1755. So, yeah, and there's, I'm looking through here, not too many others that would be recognizable, I don't think. Bill Dickey was a catcher for the New York Yankees, born on this date in 1907. And died at the age of 86 in 93. And that pretty well...
Wasn't there a basketball game last night?
You know what? There was a basketball game last night. And you know what happened in that basketball game?
That's why I'm asking.
Well, Toronto took a 2-1 lead over the world champion Warriors, injury-plagued Warriors, I might add.
Oh, poor guy.
Yeah,
that doesn't happen in basketball.
Yeah, I want some cheese with that wine.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's see from our text line, 478-8298. Private selfies are safe if you leave the lights off when you take it. Okay, there you go.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, well, that's good, yeah.
Unless you have the flash, I guess. I don't know. Then that's... I don't know. Then you're in trouble. I don't know. I think I need the I need the magnifier.
Yeah, well, Geraldo Rivero did one at 70.
I know.
And his comment was, "This is the new 50." Oh my gosh, Geraldo!
Well, he's kind of adult anyway. I'm not sure why he's lasted as long as he has.
I agree.
Jerry Rivers.
The mustache.
Jerry Rivers got to be called Geraldo Rivera. I mean, come on. Give me a break.
Oh, that's very good. I love it.
That's like what was Engelbert Humperdinck's name? Dorsey, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Jerry Dorsey
yeah,
or something like that. I forget what his name was, but
some
anyway.
strange English name.
Yeah, it was. I don't know. It was pretty.
Yeah, but he was lucky he had women throwing underwear at him. Come on, give me a break.
Well, I guess that's true. You know that. Yeah, back in those days, he and Tom Jones and a couple other guys were the crooners of their day, the Bing Crosbys and whatever of their time. So I don't know, but well, we haven't heard much about too many selfies from Congress lately, I guess.
No. Oh.
But I wonder, do they still have the slush fund that pays people off that bring actions against congressmen? Did they get rid of the slush fund or not?
Yes, they did.
Did they get rid of that?
Yeah. But they've refused to announce the $27 million they spent.
Yeah.
I'd like to see that. $27 million they paid out.
My tax dollars at work. Thanks very much for that. Holy mackerel.
For your congressman's sexual abuse. Yeah, that's real. That's not cool.
Well, that's for sure. And we've got to take a break, thankfully. Yeah, I think our selfie talk is over.
Yeah, that's right.
It's a little early in the morning for all this, so don't send us any, okay, here?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Please hold back.
Hold the selfies off the text line and our app chat. Hey, don't forget to check out the KMMS website. We have stories there from all over the state. Many people contribute to our site over there, so there's a lot of great stories. So go to KMMSAM.com and check out what's on our website over there. So it's get yourself educated and go to our Facebook page at facebook.com, KMMSAM, and comment on any of the things you see there. And we'll be right back. News at the bottom of the hour, Fox News, all that. 23 minutes before the top of the hour. It's Thursday, June 6th, D-Day, 75th anniversary, 2019, 60 degrees outside, Shane. Looking pretty good today. So we expect a little thunderstorms around the area, but we're looking for high in the 70s, so should be a pretty nice day today. And in local news, well, Yellowstone is laying off employees, Shane. Boy, right at the beginning of the season, too.
Oh, well, of course.
Yeah, the nonprofit foundation that raises money for Yellowstone National Park laid off a half a dozen employees last month, a move multiple sources said seemed to be a flawed attempt to deal with deeper financial problems at the park.
Oh, wow, what a surprise.
Ooh. Yellowstone...
who runs it? Oh, the government. Yeah, right.
Well, Yellowstone Forever, the main philanthropic organization supporting Yellowstone, fired 6 employees in mid-May. 6 employees were from different departments within the organization, including the gift and records management, a call center, and facilities and sustainability. So, 4 worked in Gardner, 2 worked remotely, and at least 2 of the 6 were asked to remain at work through the summer, while others were sent home immediately. The firings came in just the organization's 3rd year, and they followed the departure of several employees who disagreed with the organization's trajectory, according to former employees who spoke openly about it. Another 2 employees left last week, just 2 weeks after the layoffs, and multiple sources estimated that more than 2 dozen had left in the last year. So
incredible, isn't it? It doesn't make sense.
Well, one former employee who spoke on condition of anonymity said, "Hey, there's an alarm going off for sure."
So, yeah, exactly.
There you go. So, hey, all is not great at the park, I guess. So. And, of course, the Bison are in the news again, of course. The Democratic governor of Montana, who is running for president, and the Republican Secretary of State, who wants his job, were locked in a contentious dispute over a uniquely Western issue that lies at the intersection of politics, wildlife, agriculture, and property rights. That's a 4-way stop you don't want to try to go through.
Incredible. Absolutely incredible.
Well, the argument between Bullock and Corey Stapleton could hamper plans to build a sanctuary where thousands of buffalo would roam. Well, bison would roam. It has escalated into a legal battle over whether Stapleton had the power to overrule Bullock's veto of state legislation on a technicality. So a judge who heard the arguments in the case ruled that Stapleton lacks that authority and blocked the vetoed legislation from becoming law for now. So stay tuned for that.
Yeah, now they can block governors signing laws. That's great. That's really good that your judicial system has that much power. Wow.
Yeah, well, I don't know. But anyway, Bullock is one of 24 contenders trying to stand out in the Democratic presidential field, while Staple is part of a crowded GOP primary race for governor. So
I think him and Blasio haven't made the count, so they're down to 20 right now for the debate.
Well, de Blasio, didn't de Blasio have a zero polling?
Yes.
Nobody they polled. he was 0 to 100% or something like that. Yeah, nobody they polled I thought he would be a presidential contender. So, well, I'm glad he got out before he spent any more money. He can continue to trash New York unabated now, undistracted. I guess I should say so.
And to keep the money that he raised for his retirement fund.
Well, that's true. All right. So, well, for I don't know, they have term limits on the mayor of New York, don't they?
Yes, two terms.
Yeah, I think they do. Okay, so he may be on his way out so he can bask in Florida or somewhere where it's all the other New Yorkers go. All right. We got to take a quick break here. No Noxatril. We'll be back. 15 minutes for the hour. It's Tuesday, June 6th, D-Day, 75th anniversary, 2019, 61 degrees outside. Shane Taubman, half man, half amazing. On the line, Tommy Goff, your morning mayor in the house, and this is the KMMS Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane. And coming up at the 8 o'clock hour, we'll be talking D-Day, some facts and figures and all kinds of stuff about that. In the meantime, if you have a relative or someone who served in World War II, we would be happy to honor their name or their memory. If you want to give us a call at 522-TALK or text us at 478-8298, we'd be happy to honor them on the air. So by all means, if you have somebody that you would like to remember on this day, they didn't have to be at D-Day or be involved in that, but if they were in World War II, the war that liberated Europe, and of course the Japanese attacks as well. So if they served in the Pacific or Europe, we would be happy to honor their memory or their name if they're still with us. So by all means, give us a call at 522-TALK. We'll be happy to do that for you. From our text line, anti-Second Amendment Swalwell has 0 poll too. Yeah, so
yeah,
the guy that's running. Swalwell's also running. So yeah, we don't want to leave anybody out if they're not polling. So we want to make sure you know that. So
yeah, only a congressman from California with a Hollywood look that has no experience would be running for president.
That's true, yeah. Well, unless it was a multimillionaire from New York.
That's right, exactly.
I don't know.
Who's not terribly attractive.
That's right. Yeah. Not easy on the eyes, is he?
No.
Well, you may have heard some students over in Belgrade made a video flashing a gun, and they a bail was set at $250,000 Wednesday for a man accused of stashing a gun used in the threatening video. And that led to a security alert at the school. They kept all the students inside until they found who was responsible and whatever. But David Oster, 18, was charged with tampering with evidence and is one of 5 people charged with a felony in connection with the threatening video Tuesday. He appeared in Gallatin County Justice Court on Wednesday before Rick West, and 4 other students are charged with felony intimidation, according to a Belgrade police release sent out Tuesday. And those 4 are expected to be referred to Gallatin County Youth Probation Officers since they probably are under 18. So.
Yeah, well, the picture I'm looking of this guy, it looks like he's looking at someone going, I thought this was covered by the First Amendment.
Yeah, right. Yeah. We'll see. Let's take some phone calls. 522-TALK is the number, 522-8255. Caller, you're on the Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane. What's up?
Well, you said to call in if I wanted to...
Yeah, honor someone who served in the war.
Yeah.
Yeah. You got somebody?
Yeah, my father.
All right, go for it.
He was on the DDay invasion.
Oh, yeah? All
yeah,
right.
Fred
he was.
Burnell.
Okay. Yeah?
Fred Burnell.
Fred Burnell. All right. Thanks much.
You bet.
We appreciate his service. Yeah, thank you.
I did, too.
God bless.
Thanks a lot. Caller, you're on the Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane. What's up?
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'd like to call to attention my uncle, Len, who was in Normandy, Omaha Beach.
Wow.
And my father, who was in the Pacific in Iwo Jima.
Holy moly.
Wow.
You have quite a history
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, they did. I saw a letter or a postcard back from my father from the Pacific, and he said, "I know you haven't heard from me lately, but as you can tell from the return address, I was busy."
I was busy, yeah.
Yeah.
I would think so. Yeah.
He was in Iwo Jima, so yeah.
Wow.
Whoa.
Yeah, it was special.
Yeah.
I'll never forget those two.
Well, hey, we honor their memory today along with you, so we appreciate the call.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, yeah, I'm getting some. Getting
Iwo
some folks
Jima
here.
was the first island of Japan territory that the Americans invaded.
Yeah, it was. There were some tough fights there, boy. Iwo Jima, Midway, a lot of those.
Guam.
Guam.
Yeah.
A lot of those were quite a big deal. So, yeah. We certainly want to honor all those folks for their service. Being a vet myself, certainly I want to make sure that we honor all of our people here. And I think Montana has more vets per capita than any other state through some kind of clerical glitch. I think we send more people to the war than any other state based on our number of people we have here. But
yeah, well, you also have like 5 of the top 10 wealthiest counties in the country because of only a family lives there.
Well, there you are. So we'll be right back. We got to take a quick break, so stay tuned. 7 minutes till the top of the hour, I should say. Thursday, June 6th, D-Day, 75th anniversary. It's 2019, 60 degrees outside. Shane Matobin on the line. Half man, half amazing in Vancouver, British Columbia. Tom Eagleoff, your morning mayor in the house. And this is the Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane. From our text line, 478-8298. I'd like to honor my father. No name given, but that's okay. We'll be happy to honor your father. And another texter, my granddad, Joe Frost, went in the third wave on Omaha Beach and was part of the liberation of Paris. So our thoughts and prayers go out to him and his service. And thank you very much for letting us know that. And we're happy to honor his memory today on this D-Day special 75th anniversary. So, yeah, if you want to.
A big joke in the newspapers the week after D-Day was pictures of the German high command looking at maps of the United States where Utah and Omaha were, because that's where they landed.
Oh, okay. You think so?
Oh, yeah. I went back and looked at some old news cartoons of the day. It was quite funny.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're going to. Well, they were supposed to. The Germans thought they were going to land at where, Calais?
Yeah, farther north.
Yeah, farther north in there, because it was an easier landing, I guess.
Landing area.
Yeah.
No cliff. Yeah, they actually picked a very difficult area to
go into.
Go into.
Yeah. Let's take some phone calls. 522-TALK is the number. Whoops, maybe not. All right. Well, the phone rang, but okay.
No one's there.
No one's there. All right.
Back to local news.
Yeah. Well, we've got, let's see, we've got George Hooker, Montana, Corporal, 22, World War II veteran, and Uncle Newt died April 3rd, 1945 in the Ito. Mom said he was killed by a sniper outside of Berlin. Seems plausible because Germany surrendered 33 days later. Wow.
Oh,
So there you are. Well, that's a shame, but we do honor George's memory, and thank you very much for passing that on to us. Got a picture of the resting place and all of that, so we appreciate that very much. Thank you. And let's see, where are we time-wise? We got 5 minutes left to go here, Shane. So back to some local news, because we were talking about we were talking about the shooting. Well, not shooting, but the video of the gun threatening thing over in Belgrade. the one of the students involved in making the video said he was with Oster when he put the gun in a portable toilet.
Oh my gosh!
There you go. So I don't know. He admitted to hiding the gun in a portable toilet at a nearby construction site. So there you go.
Yeah,
that's pretty creative, I guess, isn't it? You're probably not going to go in there and look for it. Yeah,
they should have gone to the dollar store and bought a water gun. I mean, like seriously.
I don't know. Anyway. Let's see. The Bozeman School Board will interview 4 finalists for the superintendent's job next Wednesday rather than the 5 originally selected, and they were kind of all over the place. 4 finalists. We got one from Florida. We got one from Glasgow, Montana. We got one from Texas, and we got one from Massachusetts. So, boy. Do you think they take into account that, if they're from Florida, they might be Republican? If they're from Montana, Glasgow, they probably are. If they're from Texas, definitely. If they're from Massachusetts, we'll just scratch that name off the list because Massachusetts is one of the states that went entirely, every county went for Hillary. So
it's a blue state, so I don't know. The Gallatin Valley is pretty blue, is it not?
Gallatin is, yeah, but we're talking about Glasgow. So
I appreciate that.
So anyway, 12 candidates applied originally, and Rob Watson, of course, is leaving the 7,000 student Bozeman district after 7 years to lead a larger Missoula public schools up there. Recently awarded a 3-year contract. He'll be getting $180,000 a year for doing that, so pretty good deal. So
public service announcement. Remember, Sunday's Father's Day, so don't forget us.
And what do you get? Father?
Oh, no, the 16th.
It's a tie. Yeah. I was gonna say you get a tie.
Well, yeah,
that's your father. That's your Father's Day gift. You get a tie.
Up it up, okay? Up it up. Let's go higher. Right? Come on. 2.4 billion for women. Let's break that number, okay? Let's get ahead of that number. Come on.
Why, you want to beat mom? Beat mom out?
I'm not saying beat mom, but
okay. Well.
Dads are entitled to a reasonably nice thing. A tie for jewelry. I don't know.
Okay. Well,
that's not a fair swap.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I'm a little upset with Trump because June 10th is my wife's birthday, and I'm going to have to take her out somewhere. And we're going to pay more for avocados on the salad wherever we go. So I'm a little upset.
My sister Value's birthday is on Sunday, the June 10th. Congratulations.
It's Monday, June 10th, I believe.
Oh, I thought the 10th was on Sunday.
I don't think so.
Oh, 6.
June 10th is Monday when the tariffs begin.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. Well,
getting all excited. Shared birthday.
So you can call her on Sunday and wish her Monday.
Okay.
If you like.
If I was in Australia.
Yeah. All right. We're going up here. Let's see. What do we got? We got about a minute. We can probably pull this off. Belgrade, Bozeman, and Gallatin County representatives have unveiled a draft plan for addressing rapid growth in the area bounded by Frontage Road, 19th Avenue, Huffine Lane, and Jackrabbit. And good luck with that. The 4 of them sitting down together and coming to some kind of agreement.
Yeah, likely.
Hey, that might as well be... Kim Jong-un and Donald Trump sitting down. That ain't going to happen, I don't think.
It's a cover story. They're going to play poker.
Yeah, apparently. Yeah, I don't know. Well, I don't know. They're all bluffing, I think. But
yeah, I think that's a very good call, Mayor.
We'll see. All right, we've got to go. When we come back, we'll be doing the 5 things you need to know, of course. And it is D-Day, 75th anniversary, June 6th, 1944. Wow.
Wow.
Deal. All right, we'll return right after the news, Fox News, Montana State News, and weather with Brooke Foster. So stay tuned. A lot more to come. We'll be right back. 6 minutes after the hour of 7 a.m. It's Thursday, June 6th, 75th anniversary of D-Day, the 6th of June. It's 2019, 60 degrees outside. From our text line, 478-8298. Texter would like to honor my father, Robert Fowler, served with the Army in the Pacific, and we are happy to do that. Thank you very much for bringing that to our attention, and we honor his service today. And we've got a caller waiting on the line, Shane, so let's go to the phones. 522-TALK is the number, 522-8255. Call you on the Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane. What's up?
I wanted to give a shout-out to family members that were in World War II.
All right.
My father, Nicholas Joseph LaRocco, was on the USS Laws in the South Pacific. It was a flagship for the Navy, and it was also hit by a kamikaze plane. My grandfather, Warren Munson, was in the Navy. He was a Seabee, and he went in at 43 years old, and he was in World War I as an infantryman, and he couldn't stand the fact that his son was going to be going to war. So he joined the Navy, and he was a Seabee. His second day on Iwo Jima, and then his son Warren Munson also was a Master Chief in the Navy, and he was in China at the time of Pearl Harbor.
Wow!
There
All right,
you go. Fantastic.
Yeah, you got a great legacy there.
And I went in the Marines because I didn't want to get seasick. So it was part of the Navy, but so my dad was 17 months at sea, and he was seasick the whole time. He was he slung he was a torpedo man, so he was below deck when he was on duty.
Oh.
And when he would hang a hammock between the big guns on the destroyer and sleep up there because he was seasick all the time.
All right. Great memories, I'm sure. Hey, thanks.
And I guess my grandfather liked being on a terra firma himself, so
Yeah.
that's why he was a Seabee.
Yeah, there you go. Hey, thanks for the call. I appreciate it.
You bet.
We appreciate
Bye-bye.
your family service. Excellent call. Yeah. Yeah, I only one thing kept me out of the Navy: sharks.
Yeah, I would be bad. Yeah, that's probably a good thing.
Not going to happen. So, yeah, that was a shame. So, yeah, let's see. I wanted to go back to the growth thing again because there are some phrases in here that we have to address, Jane.
Okay.
When we talk about growth in Bozeman. Of course, the policies will ensure that emergency services are in place before projects are approved, emphasizing non-motorized transportation options. So plenty of bike lanes. We're going to have those. Maintaining water quality as water and sewer districts expand, and prioritizing open space parks and wildlife habitat. So
why not?
You can't build there. So because we're growing, our planning extends beyond the borders of Belgrade into the county. And Chris Mell, who helped draft the plan, said the policies in the plan will save taxpayers money by ensuring that growth happens effectively and efficiently, and will protect the environment, oh yes, and will provide social benefits like reduced traffic and walkable neighborhoods. All right, so there we are. So you're just going to be stuck out in the middle of nowhere is where you're going to be, I guess. So I don't know, man. It's pretty. I don't know. All right, let's see. Well. I don't know what happened here. My text line went on.
The amazing thing about this is we live in the first world.
Yeah.
And we become so incredibly developed, with street lights and beeping crosswalks and replacing all the curbing for wheelchairs that, they got to come up with something else to spend money on. That's why these, bike lanes and stuff, because they got to keep spending money.
Wow. Well, they do. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They got to take your pizza away from you, Mayor.
Apparently so. I don't know. I don't know what happened to my screen here, but everything went topsy-turvy. So I don't know.
Well, we can move on to 5 things you need to know.
Well, we're going to have to. Why don't you start that off while I try to figure out what the heck's going on with my screen here?
Yeah, now everyone's complaining about immigration officials are going to cut education, recreation, legal aid for unaccompanied minors. Okay. We're talking about, of course, unaccompanied minors crossing your border.
Mm-hmm.
And, there's this big hoopla about all this. And the age-old question, which will go down in history in your country, is why were they taking care of illegal immigrants and not Americans on the street?
Mm-hmm.
It's just, the legacy of this is going to be horrific. It's going to be horrific.
Well, probably, yeah. Well, it will be. I mean,
yeah. Polls show, I like this, a hypothetical Democratic nominee winning back Michigan. Boy, as if there wasn't enough bull s with the Russian hoax. Now they got to do hypothetical, polls to try and beat Trump.
Mm-hmm.
Like get people geared up because we're telling you, you're going to vote for whoever it is. Oh, likely Biden, really, or Bernie Sanders. I don't know,
yeah.
But he said they say he'll beat Trump more. That's Bernie Sanders 53-41. What do you think?
In Texas, in
Michigan.
Okay, I thought that was on the 5 things, but
it is. I've moved on.
Oh, you're going kind of fast, aren't you?
Well, we got so much to talk about D-Day that I wanted to get through this.
Well, we're not going to talk about D-Day until 8 o'clock.
All right.
Calm down. Jeez. If my screen hadn't gone south, we'd be under control here. But
well, okay. Let me put this in.
All
so
right.
Bernie Sanders, too old. His wife has issues. He's now a millionaire.
Yeah.
Where'd he get all the money? Oh yeah, he wrote a book. Elizabeth Warren and her whole Pocahontas issue. Kamala Harris and her grandparents had slaves in Jamaica. Biden getting $1.5 billion when he was vice president. I mean, come on. Like, it's like, where do all these people think they're going with this? I don't know. To me, it's going to be, these debates are a bit, I can't wait to see what they say about each other.
Yeah. Well, the first thing we need to know, let's take a phone call here. We got some callers calling in,
right.
So let's do that. 522-TALK is the number. Calling on the Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane. What's up?
How are you guys doing?
Good.
The United States is back-to-back World War champ.
Yeah.
You got it, baby.
I find it odd, though. I think the wrong people are calling in and thanking guys for their service, and I think there should be more Europeans calling in.
Oh,
Yeah.
thanking us.
Yeah. We should have put that in the treaty.
Yeah.
In perpetuity, every one of them little bastards call us up and thank us for that.
The Queen did yesterday at Portsmouth, so my Queen.
And so did Macron this morning
That's
at
right.
the ceremony this morning. He thanked the U.S. for their freedom. So that was a good thing. Yeah, that was a good thing. So, yeah.
All right, there you go. Yeah, I stand corrected. All right.
All right, hey, no problem. All right, take care. All right, thank you. Caller, you're on the Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane. What's up?
Good morning, gentlemen.
Hi.
I'd like to thank the Shane. Thank the Canadians too. They were involved in the D-Day landings, and of course were involved in escorting ships across the Atlantic.
Juno Beach, baby, that was ours.
Yep, they took Juno Beach. Yeah, we'll be talking about that in the 8 o'clock hour. We talk about the D-Day situation. So, yeah, that was excellent.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's very kind of you.
Yeah.
My pleasure. And
Yeah.
at that time, Canada's population wasn't anywhere near it is now, even though it's small now.
Yeah.
And you're escorting across the Atlantic during the early part of the convoys. If you look at the documentaries, I can't believe some of those ships, if you can call them that.
I know, yeah.
They were like fishing boats.
I know. There's a lot of them, though.
Yeah, there was a lot of 35,000 landing craft they made.
Wow.
Yeah, that's another thing. The war production in Canada also.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that at 8 o'clock because it was phenomenal what they did in 4 years.
Yeah.
Okay, and again, I'd like to thank all the veterans out there who are listening for their service.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
You too, Tom, because you're a serviceman.
Appreciate that very much. Thank you.
You betcha.
All right. Take care. All right. Yeah. I think at that time, every adult Canadian went because that was all they had. It was about 100 people, I think, that went. So that was all we had there. So.
Yeah, well, I got to comment on that real quick. It wasn't until the Iraqi war that Canadians were under their own command. Up until that time, they've always been under the command of either the British or the Americans. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, that's pretty. Well, I don't know. I guess we earned that right in World War I
and II.
Well, you don't pick a commander for the second one unless you've had the first one.
That's true.
You don't say, well, everybody in World War I's dead. Let's just pick Eisenhower. What the hell?
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Well, I guess you saw that Pelosi wants Trump in prison, not impeached.
Oh, God. Well, now the problem that she's done by opening her mouth. They talk about Trump's tweets. This woman's speeches. Now she's opened it up to Obama because this is, the crazy case going right to his White House. I'm telling you.
Well, we'll see.
He could be indicted, baby.
I doubt it. I don't think that's ever going to happen. I mean, Hillary's not going to jail. Clinton's not going to jail, and Obama's not going to jail.
Well, so I want to go viral. I want to go
viral. If it goes viral, it won't be us that'll do it. But
Biden and Obama are going to get indicted.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't think so. Well, anyway, during a meeting with senior Democrats on Tuesday night, House Speaker Pelosi made it clear that she does not want to start impeachment proceedings against President Trump. That the House Judiciary Chairman Gerald Nadler spent part of the meeting urging Pelosi to let his committee start an impeachment inquiry against Trump. The second time he's made the request in recent weeks, Pelosi responded, "I don't want to see him impeached. I want to see him in prison." And multiple people recorded that, I guess. So people close to Pelosi said she wants Trump to lose in 2020 and then face prosecution for his alleged crimes.
Well, as I said last week, this is a mother chicken Pelosi talking to chubby chicken Nadler.
Mm-hmm. Yep, there you go. We got to take a quick break. We'll be right back right after this. 21 minutes after the hour, it's Thursday, June 6th, 2019, 75th anniversary of D-Day, 65 degrees outside. Shane Talman, half man, half amazing on the line, and Tom Eagle, your morning mayor. Welcome to the KMMS Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane, and the increase in immigration of the southern border has prompted the Trump administration to make budget cuts, and the White House is opting to slash English classes, recreational programs, and legal aid for unaccompanied minors staying in federal shelters across the country to avoid running out of money by the end of June. So, although education and recreation for minors in custody are mandated by a federal court settlement and state licensing requirements, the Office of Refugee Resettlement has begun to discontinue funding for services that are not directly necessary for the protection of life and safety. Shelter employee says that the cuts have alarmed workers who fear the care of the children will suffer. Boy.
Well, this is what upsets me the most about this. It was the Obama administration that implemented the plan to take women and separate them from their children and put children in cages. And we know this story because, the New York Times, Washington Post printed pictures of this and accused Trump of doing it when they were pictures from 2014. And the thing is I'm so tired of these Democrats running for president saying, the Trump administration is tearing children from the wombs of their mothers and putting them in cages.
Well, not from the wombs anyway, but.
No, yeah, but that's what they're saying. But he's the one who stopped it. He didn't start it. Like, it's just, it's bad. It's so bad.
Well, as we know and has been proven, there are three reasons that the children are separated from their parents. First reason is is the person accompanying the child really the father, mother, or legal guardian?
Yeah,
and
right. Are they?
DNA tests have proved in 20% of cases they're not.
That's correct. Yeah.
And then the second reason, of course, is the person accompanying the child abusing the child. And the third reason, of course, is the person who's accompanying the child wanted for a crime somewhere, either in their own country or in the United States from past visits.
That's right. And under the abuse,
and all three are to protect the children.
And under the abuse one, number 2 is, has the child been immunized?
Well, that may be the case too, but probably not from Honduras or El Salvador or whatever. They probably have not been.
Yeah,
so,
that's right.
So yeah, this is kind of a mess here, but I appreciate the fact that they, they want them to, have education, English classes and recreation and legal aid and all that, but all that has to be paid for by somebody.
Well, but on the other side of this too is that what about these people being returned to their country? I mean, these are things that. If they stay, they should be entitled to those things. But right now, it's a matter of determining whether they should be here or not. So I don't know. It's
and also we're talking about the case of the disease, obviously for one thing, of course.
That's huge.
That we just mentioned, and that many of these minors are set back and they come with another family. They're smuggled back over the border, and because people with a kid get priority. So
they're literally getting rotated back to be used again.
Mm-hmm.
Like what kind of parent is doing that to their child? Oh, this is a real nice ATM machine. My son comes home and I'm going to get another $2,000 to send him back.
Wow. There you go. Yeah.
Whoa.
Well, I don't know. Anyway, with what you were alluding to earlier, former Vice President Joe Biden is leading President Trump by 4 percentage points among Texas voters, according to a Quinnipiac University poll published Wednesday. And 48 to 44% lead in the poll is more robust than the former vice president's 1-point lead over Trump in an Emerson University poll in April. And Biden is the only 2020 Democrat to lead Trump in the poll, but Senator Elizabeth Warren is just 1 point behind Trump and several other candidates, Bernie Sanders, Beto O'Rourke, Kamala Harris, Julian Castro, and Mayor Pete Buttigieg are also within striking distance. The poll.
Well, you now know who the press wants as the top 8 people left.
Well, yeah. Well, obviously they're the best known for whatever reason. I don't know if. Beto probably has the money from initially to make the cut, but I don't know. Anyway. Poll of 1,159 registered Texas voters was conducted May 29th to June 4th. The margin of error is 5.8.
Oh my God!
5.8% error for a 4-point lead.
That's not
okay,
even viable.
let's mathematically break that down. So you're leading by 4 points, but there's a there's almost a 6% chance of error there.
Yeah, that's right.
So,
wow.
All right. Well, and that's put out as news, Shane.
I know. Like believable news.
Believable news. Holy smokes. Well, yesterday, of course, we saw a little bit of a nothing burger press conference from Mexico that said, "Oh, we didn't even talk about tariffs. Oh my gosh, we're why talk about tariffs? We're cutting a deal here. So let's go. My gosh, what's going on?" So I don't know, but anyway, from our text line 478-8298, pay a little more for your avocado and save the taxpayer $2 billion to $19 billion a year in the cost of illegal immigration. I'm happy to do that. I'll be happy to pay a little more for my avocado to save us $2 billion to $19 billion a year on the cost of immigration. So Absolutely.
Well, the current concern I have, which really bothers me, is nobody in the media is talking about the possibility of Spain as a failed state. And believe me, folks, you look at their markets, you look at their currency, you look at their economy, it is not in a good way.
Nope, they are not. They are not in good shape over there. Italy is well. Italy's probably a little better, but they have their problems as well. Greece always has, of course.
That's right.
So, so you've got 5% of the EU on its knees,
Yeah, exactly
something
right.
like that. All right.
Yeah.
All right, we got more local stuff. We got to talk about some things going on over in Livingston when we come back. And then at the 8 o'clock hour, we want to do the DDay thing. So, and we're inviting you, if you had someone who served in World War II from 1939 to 1945, we would appreciate, put their name out there. Let's honor them today. If you've got a father, grandfather, mom, dad, grandmother, whoever, cousin, uncle, whoever served, we'll be happy to honor their memory, or if they're still alive, we'll be honoring their service. So we'll be back with more right after the news at the bottom of the hour. So hang on. 24 minutes for the top of the hour. It's Thursday, June 6, 2019, 66 degrees outside. It is the 75th anniversary of D-Day, the 6th of June, the invasion of Europe. Invasion of France, I guess I should say. Huh?
Yes, indeed.
Quite a day. From our text line, 478-8298, Dukakis was ahead of Bush in June of 1988. Remember the Dukakis administration?
Yeah, and riding the tank.
Yeah, riding the tank. He was quite a guy. So I'm only 47, but identify as a World War II veteran. I demand you honor me. Well, I'll honor you for disrespecting what we're doing today. How about that?
Yeah.
So that'll be all right. I can certainly do that. Let's take a phone call. 522-TALK is the number, 522-8255. Caller, you are on the Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane. What's up?
Well, good morning, Tom and Shane.
Hey, Pete, how are you?
I'm very good, thank you.
Good deal.
You know, you had a funny text. I think it was yesterday or the day before. Called up and basically said, "Stop complaining, run for office."
Oh yeah, all the people calling in should stop whining and run for office and make a difference. Yeah.
Well, so he sends an anonymous text telling us to run for office.
Well, yeah.
In the first place. You know, I mean, give me a break. And what did he do? He called in and complained about people complaining.
Yeah.
So I don't know how that works. But what he was really saying was, do not point out the failings of the so-called progressives. You don't want to hear that. Because I think people are just complaining when you point out a fact.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't think that's complaining. And as far as running for office, I've always chosen to be a productive member of society, as opposed to who knows what. And as far as the polls go, they're for wires, they're for fishing. You know, these polls, I don't give them no credibility at all. And you're not going to have a credible poll before the election. There won't be one. It'll all be Bravo, Sierra.
Yeah.
So, Pete, are you excited about the numbers of your federal government's tax revenue after the Trump tax cut? They're up 79% from last year.
Yeah, that's a pretty good sized number, huh?
Yeah, that's pretty impressive, isn't it? Another point proven.
Yeah, well, and just like you were saying yesterday, I believe it was about the price of steel and aluminum.
Yeah, down.
Yeah, imagine that. They were supposed to go through the roof.
Yeah, well,
but I don't know. I think some of these Dems just talk to hear themselves talk. I mean, they don't. It's not like they have anything to say that makes any sense, especially the deal with the kids on the border. I mean, give me a break.
I take that personally because I like to hear myself talk, and I'm not a Democrat.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't mean it as an insult. I was just pointing out a fact.
Yeah.
I know you were.
That's just the way it is.
Pete, I'm trying to go viral here. Help me.
You know, in this day and age, it shouldn't really be all that hard.
Yeah,
I mean,
well.
you look at some of the stuff that's out there.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, man. We're living in a maybe not a sick society, but we're definitely ailing.
Yeah.
Unbelievable what goes on anymore. Especially with this thing with the kids is on the border is, I mean, to me it's horrific.
Yeah.
I think the children are the most picked on class on the damn planet right now.
Yeah. Well, white Christian children.
They don't get any children. They don't care.
There you are.
They don't care. They'll abuse them all.
Well, that's true.
One way or the other.
That's true.
I think it's some kind of cult that's going on. In fact, I know it's some kind of cult that's going on.
Yeah.
I mean, when you got these rich guys, I was reading an article the other day where these old rich guys are getting infusions of young people's blood. Some families are banking their kids' blood so that they can pay for their college education.
Yeah.
I mean, that's ill.
I'd agree.
I mean, really ill.
There you go.
But anyway, that's all I got.
All right, man. That's all we've got, too. So we'll see you later.
Have a good one.
All right. Thanks for the call. All right. Hey, if you'd like to snore in a foreign language, here's how to do it. We'll be right back. 16 minutes for the top of the hour. It's Thursday, June 6, 2019. 68 degrees outside. DDay anniversary, 75th anniversary. Shane Matobin on the line from Vancouver, British Columbia. And Tommy Galoff, your morning mayor, in the house. And we have a caller waiting on the line. So, caller, you're on the Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane. What's up?
This is Colonel Clank.
Hey.
Anyway, Shane and I decided that I wasn't getting paid and he wasn't getting paid, and so the only one on this here form is getting paid is Tom.
That's right.
Eaglehoff.
Yeah,
so we figured that if we needed money, we knew where we could get it.
There you go.
Well, there you are.
Okay.
Yeah, you and I know who's buying coffee, right?
That's right. So, when Shane, Shane and I got a dinner on the NBA, I guess.
Oh,
so,
God.
it looks like I may have to buy him dinner because of the wounded Warriors.
Oh, you don't have to buy his plane ticket here, huh?
Yeah, I got a spring for the whole 9 yards.
Yeah, oh, God.
I want the Raptors to win because I want to see him at the White House.
Well, yeah, that should be interesting.
Well, that's cool. Well, I got a story. It'll take a little bit to tell you, but it's a true story about World War II, okay?
All right.
Well, first of all, I'm just a young kid, when it started. I was only about 7 years old and 41. And anyway, my dad tried to join the service. My dad and Bob Rice and George Carter, my uncle, Raymond Whitmore, all the guys from Madison County and Gallatin County tried to join. Well, my dad was flat-footed, so they wouldn't take him, but they took all the rest of them. My uncle, George Carter, went in, and we went to California. My dad, he couldn't get in the service, so he thought he'd build icebreakers and destroyers. So that's what he did for Western Pipe and Steel in Los Angeles. And so we went there, and anyway, my uncle George Carter was a brave man. He was a hero, too. He's buried here at Sunset Hills in Bozeman. He went to Dutch Harbor, was his first assignment, and he got wounded there, and he got a Purple Heart. And then he left there, and he went into Europe, and he was in the Battle of the Bulge. And he made it through that one pretty good, and he won the Bronze Star in that battle. And then when the Russians and the Americans, the Russians went into Berlin first, then we came in. Patton and his guys came in. And anyway, George on his way into Berlin, had some German soldiers to surrender, and him and his group. And anyway, what happened was this one officer had a .32 Belgian Browning automatic on him, and he pulled it, and another guy killed him. And my Uncle George took his gun. And so when he got that gun off of this dead officer, and so anyway, they went on into Berlin, and in this great big pond in the middle of Berlin, everybody had thrown guns in it. And there was a shotgun in there with a silver-mounted plate on the sides of it. It was all silver-mounted, a 20 gauge. Believe it or not, it was made in America. He picked out that shotgun and an 8mm Mauser. The Mauser had the Mauser action. And he brought those three guns, the .32 and the shotgun and the Mauser, home and gave them to me when I was in 1944 at Ennis, Montana, and I still have them today. But anyway, what I want to say, to me now, when Normandy was invaded and 9,000 men's lives was lost, and I've seen that myself, not there, but in Korea. But I want to say it isn't a day for bake sales, and it ain't a day for sale wash machines, and it ain't a day for selling this like the TV ads say. To me itself, it's a day of mourning and giving me the right to be a free man in a free nation that I think God Almighty helped us settle. And that's what it means to me. It's not a celebration to me at all. It's a day of mourning for me, because I remember all of the friends. Lloyd Noble was another one that they all tried to sign up together. Lloyd made it back, but he went crazy, killed his wife. It was terrible. And then his brother Raymond, he was killed in Tarawa. These are all my friends and relations.
Tell us about you being 10 years old and sitting around the radio as a family and listening to FDR talk to you.
Well, he had his fireside chats, with everybody. And I was in Los Angeles, when this happened. And right after the war, right before when the war just started, we went to Los Angeles because Dad couldn't get in the service because he's flat-footed. Well, my favorite stories were, you want to talk about Gracie Allen and them, I like them, the Lone Ranger, the Shadow, and everything else. And then sometimes when they were in Fibber McGee and Molly, sometimes when them come on, why then the president would give his fireside chat speeches. And I listened. I've always been a history guy, and I always listened to the various things he had to say. And my dad didn't like Roosevelt.
Yeah.
A lot of people didn't, but as I grew older and started doing more in history, I thought my dad might have been a little wrong. I thought Roosevelt did something that most people wouldn't want to do. But to me, Shane and Tom, to me, today, I guess today is D-Day, isn't it?
Yep.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
I think that everybody's listening to this radio station this morning ought to get down on their knees and thank God for the lives that those servicemen gave so that you could be here in this big, beautiful country of Montana and here. I think that there's less of that done anymore. It's all about fun and games and this here, and they forget who gave them that right to have all of this. And so that's what I got to say today, and what I've told you is an absolute true story. And thank you so much for your time. And you too, Shane. Thank you very much.
All right.
Our pleasure always.
All right. We got to take a quick break. We got a caller waiting, Shane, you can chat with, so we'll be right back. All right, welcome back, everyone. Thursday, June 6, 2019, 72 degrees, just flipped over. I turned Shane up a little too soon. He's still talking on to our caller. So, whatever. I'm just glad he didn't say any of the 8 words we're not supposed to say. So, He would never do that. He would never do that anyway. So
Yeah.
we've had a caller waiting. Let's go to the phones. 522 Talk is the number. Caller, you on the air. What's going on?
Well, my dad and all my uncles were in World War II, and of all of them, they were Marines in the Navy, and of all of them, the most dangerous one was my Uncle Frank, who's long dead, who was a merchant Marine who went over the top to Murmansk 3 times.
Wow.
You talk about a dangerous job. I mean, they were just U-boat bait. They'd get in these long convoys and sail over the top to the Arctic Circle to Murmansk, Russia, and drop off their cargo. And that was where Hitler was having the U-boats out of Norway shoot at them. They would sink convoys. They get in these long convoys, and they would sink ships until they ran out of torpedoes. I mean, that was.
And then they'd surface and use a deck gun.
Yeah, I mean, it was incredible. I mean, you knew if your number got pulled, you were going to the bottom of the North Atlantic.
Yeah.
The sharks would never get you because you were going to freeze to death.
Nope.
Yeah. I was going to say, it'd be a...
That was a gutsy deal.
Anyway, so let's head on. What else we have? Oh, my caller in it.
All right. Hey, thanks for the call. All right. From our text line, my father and my mother both served in World War II. My mom, Cleo Patterson, joined the WWII and was very proud to serve. My father was in the Army and fought in Europe. Well, good. Good for you. Let's see. Why did they call it D-Day? What does the D stand for? It stands for absolutely nothing. It doesn't mean a thing. It's like H-hour. It's like D-Day. I don't think your phone went off. I think you just hung up, but okay. But anyway, go ahead and dial in, Shane. Let's see. Yeah, we're going to talk about that in the 8 o'clock hour. That's one of the first things that D-Day didn't stand for anything. It didn't mean anything. Thank you, Clint. Amazing tribute, and thank you for your service. To the caller that replied earlier about being 47 and whatever, meant no disrespect, Tom. Sorry if I did, was making fun of the PC crowd. Appreciate it. Thank you very much for clarification of that. Did you see the Red Chinese ceremony on the 30th anniversary of the Tiananmen Square massacre? I missed that. It must have been on NPR.
Well, it's amazing. CBS had a team in Beijing and showing people on an iPad the video of and none of the people knew because they wiped it from their history.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody in China knows about what happened back 30 years ago in 1989. Yeah, sorry. It's a very sad story, but that's China, and that's a socialist country.
There you go.
Wipe out your history because we don't want you to know what really happened.
There you are. Well, the other thing that I wanted to talk about, we got about 3 minutes to do that. One is Livingston had a heated debate on the parade. They've got the parade route. They got no resolution yet, but anyway, they're in there battling over where they want this parade to be over in Livingston. So we wish them well and hope they come to a reasonable solution where everybody's happy. But I don't know if that's possible because it seems like over in Livingston they are pretty adamant about where they want this parade to be, and so we'll see how that plays out. The other thing that was interesting, Bernie visited Walmart's convention the other day, and I don't know if you saw that on the news, Shane, but he went in.
I did not.
They let him talk. They let him in, and he ranted on and on about a $15 minimum wage and how Walmart's families, mostly richest people in the country.
In the world.
The family itself is pretty wealthy, and he felt they should charge $15 in minimum wage. And then Doug McMillan, who is the CEO of Walmart, who started as a summer worker on their loading dock and worked his way up to the CEO corner office in just 20 short years. Been the CEO since 2004, I think, or 14. 2000.
So,
I don't know.
The only comment I want to make about this is this guy Yang running for president as a Democrat.
Yang.
Really quick. Yang.
Mm-hmm.
Really quick because it's sort of important. So he's saying in the 21st century, with AI coming along and all these major corporations with a vast amount of wealth they have, should be charged major taxes in the 21st century because of the jobs they're going to take away from people with AI.
Yeah.
And use it as basically the companies paying a dividend to the American public. Now, it's not a great idea, but it's something to think about.
Yeah.
So if you have these multi-billion-dollar companies generating multi-billion dollars in revenue with no taxes, they pay a dividend instead of a tax, which is then paid to Americans. Not a bad idea. I mean, this
deal. Yeah. So, yeah. Well, just add a nickel to that AI avocado picker, and we're set.
Got it, Mayor. You covered the nut. I love it.
All right. We're going to do some D-Day stuff coming up here in the 8 to 9 hour. If you're going to miss that, go to our rebroadcast. It'll be up on the line here at our website and on your smartphone soon. So we'll be right back to start that right after this. Welcome back, everyone. It's 6 minutes after the hour of 8 o'clock, Thursday, June the 6th, D-Day, 75th anniversary, 74 degrees outside. Shay Matabin on the line with me from Vancouver, British Columbia. And, quite a day, I guess, Shane. I shudder to think how many people don't know about this day.
Well, I'd just like to put some context in it. You know, I love numbers. Numbers don't lie. People do.
Mm-hmm.
So, folks, here are some really important numbers. World War II started on December 7th in the U.S. and went to August 9th, 1945. That's 3.5 years, 1,500 days. So Tom and I are going to talk about numbers and production and everything that was happening.
Mm-hmm.
So over 1,500 days, we're going to talk about what happened. First biggest number was on D-Day. 9,387 Americans fell that day and are buried on above the shoals on Normandy, along with all the other Americans that died in Europe. But, you know, the one thing that is really interesting is a number. 1941 was the first year the U.S. went over $1 trillion economy GDP, $1 trillion, 94 million. By 1944 or 1945, $1.5 trillion. That's what it did for the U.S. economy. So let's go with these numbers, Tom, and amaze everybody at what the U.S. accomplished. Right. It's just incredible.
Yeah.
Your turn. Give him a number.
Well, I'm not going to give him a number, but one of the questions from our text line earlier was D-Day meaning, the meaning of the D-Day.
Oh, yeah.
And unlike VE Day, which was victory in Europe, or VJ Day and victory over Japan, the D in D-Day isn't short for departure or decision or anything else. As early as World War I, the U.S. military used the term D-Day to designate the launch date of a mission. And one reason was to keep the actual date out of the hands of spies. Another was to serve as a placeholder until the actual date was chosen. And they also used H-hour for the specific time of launch. So D-Day really doesn't have a designation of anything. But the other thing, the actual invasion took years of planning. You know, it was not an easy thing to do. Franklin Roosevelt, Winston Churchill knew from the start of the war that a massive invasion of Europe would be critical to relieve pressure from the Soviet army fighting the Nazis in the East. And initially a plan called Operation Sledgehammer called for an Allied invasion of ports in northwest France as early as 1943. And Roosevelt and Churchill decided to invade northern Africa first and attack Europe's soft underbelly through Italy. And
that's right.
Yeah.
Yep. And as we've talked about, you know, on D-Day, 6th of June was the day after the Allies secured Rome, and it was, as Franklin Roosevelt said, one of three capitals left. Yep. The other two were Paris and Berlin. So there we go. So here's some numbers. This important. So in 1,500 days, the U.S. total large ships 1,216. I mean, that's almost a ship a day.
Yeah.
But the important thing was 165 carriers they built, 152 cruisers, 16 battleships, 665 destroyers, frigates, 649, corvettes, 387, 4,209 patrol boats, but the biggest number was 35,000 landing craft.
Yeah.
That's a staggering number for the Navy. So there you go. I've got more numbers.
All right. Let's go to the phones. 522-TALK is the number, 522-8255. Caller, you're on the Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane. What's up?
Tom and Shane, this is Paul.
Hi, Paul.
I wanted to recognize my dad who served in World War II.
Absolutely.
He was in the Army Air Corps.
Mm-hmm.
I was born in November 43 in Dallas, Texas, and he left there early in 44, led a flight of C-47s down the east coast of South America, across the South Atlantic route to Africa, and then up through Africa all the way to the China-Burma theater.
Yeah.
And spent the last 2 years of the war flying the hump in C-46s and C-47s.
Wow. What day were you born in November?
19th.
I've got you by 9 days.
Aha. My junior.
Respect your elders now. Come on.
You guys, it sound like a graduating class.
I don't know. What are you doing now? Well, I'm an industrial engineer at a school. Yeah, right.
Exactly.
You're a janitor. Well, hey, that's great. We're inviting people to call in and honor anyone in their family who served from 39 to 45, and certainly we appreciate your legacy attached to that as well. So thanks for the call.
You bet.
All right, take care.
So I just want to tell my dad's story. He went into the Merchant Marines here in Vancouver at 17 and ran to Murmansk on those ships. And, it's very sad. And I say this, and it gets me upset because of Canada.
Yeah.
The Merchant Marines had the highest casualty rate of anybody in all the forces. 1 in 7 died at sea.
Wow.
And the Canadian government never recognized them as veterans. My father went to his grave at 90, never being recognized by his government as having served in World War II. It's very
that's sad.
It's a hard thing for Canadian to believe the government would never do that.
Yeah. 522-TALK is the number, 522-8255. Caller, you are on the air. What's going on?
Good morning, gentlemen. This is Jerry.
Hey, Jerry.
Hey, Jerry.
Hi, guys. My mom served in the Army Nurse Corps during that period.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a little bit of history, and I went in back in the 60s.
Yeah.
Do you know, gentlemen, if you look at in those days, how many people, politicians, even movie actors, and people in media went in and served. Did you know that Ted Knight, you remember who Ted Knight was on the TV show?
Yeah, Mary Tyler Moore, yeah.
He received 5 Bronze Stars.
Wow.
Henry Fonda was commissioned on a destroyer and received a Bronze Star. President Ford served and received 10 battle stars.
Jimmy Stewart, yeah.
Yep. Kirk Douglas got injured when a depth charge went off very close to his ship. Even Captain Kangaroo.
Yeah.
he served. Think about it. This guy was Clarabelle.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
And he went into the service. Mel Brooks served in the Battle of the Bulge. Charles Bronson, although he didn't serve overseas, did stateside duty. Walter Matthau, of all people.
Yeah.
he served.
Yeah.
All these actors, do you think you could get anybody from Hollywood
to go now?
Go now?
Please. Don't.
Absolutely impossible.
Yeah.
So,
baseball players too left, to serve as well.
Sure.
I mean, they went as well. Yeah.
Well, they didn't. I don't think they had baseball during the Second World War. It was the women. Isn't that when the women's league was fired up?
Well, I know they had they didn't have a World Series one year, I believe. I don't remember. I'll have to look up the baseball history of World War II. I guess we better cover that. We'll have Shane work on that during the break.
But there were so many individuals back in those days who were patriotic.
Yeah. Well, thanks for bringing that up. Yeah.
You betcha.
Appreciate it. Thanks.
Well, my stepfather, Harry Litzenberger, was a naval commander, and being German from Denver, he was in the special forces doing intercepts and and worked for the secret side, the covert side. Yeah. And but didn't talk about it ever. Never talked about what he did.
All right. Let's go back to the phones. 522 Talk is the number. Caller, you on the air with Tom and Shane. What's up?
Yeah, good morning, guys. I just wanted to recognize my grandpa, Cecil Fisher, who was in the Battle of the Bulge. And the only reason that I am here today is because as he was ordered to go up the tower to run the machine gun, for the fellow that had been on there before him died, he slipped on his blood and broke his leg. Whoa. Grandpa never made it to the top of the tower, so he was able to come back with a broken leg. Well, that is why I'm here today.
Well, all right. Well, I guess that's why they say it in the theater, huh? Break a leg. It's good luck. Huh?
Yeah, it was definitely good luck for him and for the rest of our family.
Well, all right. Hey, thank you very much for the call, and thank you for the service. Yeah, we appreciate it. Let's see. According to the DDay Center, the invasion, officially called Operation Overlord, combined the forces of 156,115 U.S., British, and Canadian troops, 6,939 ships and landing vessels, and 2,395 aircraft, and 867 gliders. Gliders, no less, delivered airborne troops.
So here you go. Air Forces, the United States, total aircraft, 324,000 aircraft in 1,500 days, 99,000 fighters, 97,000 bombers, 123,000 transports, 57,000 trainers, with personnel of 2.4 million people.
I would bet they worked in 3 shifts.
Boy, they were busy boys, I'm telling you.
Yes, they were. All right, we got to take a quick break, and we'll be right back with more D-Day facts and stuff right after this. 20 minutes after the hour of 8 a.m. It's Thursday, June 6th, D-Day, 75th anniversary, 2019, 76 balmy degrees outside. Wow, what a beautiful day. Sunshine's out there. Michelle Wolf's working hard back there at the Moose, and it's really nice out there. Yeah, she's having a good time. She's playing rock and roll.
So the Army numbers for the military in World War II, the U.S., 108,000 tanks and mobile artillery, of which 58,000 M4 Sherman tanks, 2.4 million other vehicles, 258,000 artillery pieces, 105,000 mortars, 2.7 million machine guns, 10 million men. And this is what they were up against with Germany, 67,500 tanks. They had 50,000 armored vehicles, 159,000 other vehicles, 73,000 artillery pieces, including the 78 tank killer, 674,000 mortars, 1 million machine guns, and 16.5 million men on the ground. But the Americans ended up with 12 million men enlisted before the end of the war. Wow.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive. Yeah. Well, everybody got behind it. You know, I was, 2 when the war ended, I guess.
That's right.
Like that. But, my parents told me, we gave up sugar, we gave up coffee, we gave up nylons, we gave up steel and rubber and everything for the war effort. And everybody went out and collected, and Hollywood came around selling war bonds and everything else. And, boy, it was for a country that didn't attack us. This was, as you pointed out, started in 1939, and then the Pearl Harbor really brought everybody. Everybody got awake then in 1941, and then we really went to work and showed what American ingenuity can do. And I don't know if we'd be able to do that today or not, Shane. It's really iffy.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah, so in 1,500 days here, because logistics are out of everything, vital commerce and raw materials the U.S. created. 47,000 cargo ships. Now, they They streamlined the cargo ships in sections to where they were building one in a week.
Wow.
Merchant shipping, 46.8 million tons of merchant shipping that they sent. Coal was 4,500 million tons. Crude oil, 1 billion barrels of crude oil. 733 million tons of steel. 5 million tons of aluminum. Asbestos, 4 million tons. Wow. Yeah. That's, I mean, you're talking growth, baby.
Well, the other great thing at that time, we were oil independent.
That's right.
I mean, we were importing. We didn't have to import fuel. I mean, we were able to make our own fuel. We were able to make almost everything we needed without a lot of imports and things like that. From we did our own mining and all that.
That's what caused World War II, because the Germans had to go into Poland for coal because they'd learned how to turn it into oil, and the Japanese wanted to go to Southeast Asia because the U.S. cut off their shipments of oil to Japan, and Japan needed to import 97% of everything to produce what they had. Wow.
Yeah, that's it. Well, you couldn't carry on a massive D-Day invasion without deception campaign, Shane. So the idea behind the ruse was to trick the Nazis into thinking that the invasion would occur at Calais, the closest French coastline to England. And the Allies used fake radio transmissions, double agents, and even a phantom army commanded by who else? George Patton. To throw Germany off the scent. They used George as a decoy because the Germans were positive that he was their leading guy. He was the Rommel of America. And
that's right.
They followed him over there, and it worked like a charm. But
well, he proved it in Africa, and so that's why they were certain of it. Because Rommel told them this guy is dangerous, and he ended up being, because he was the one that opened up the whole war into France and sped across France with the Fourth Army, and also the Battle of the Bulge. 500 miles north, he went expecting the invasion by the or the counterattack by the Germans, and hadn't been for his foreseeing that, we don't know what would happen at the Battle of the Bulge.
Yeah. Well, the other thing that may not be well known, if you're going to have an invasion, you ought to have a dress rehearsal. And that was a total disaster. Total disaster. 2 months before D-Day, Allied forces conducted a disastrous dress rehearsal of the Normandy invasion on an evacuated English beach called Stapleton Sands. Known as Exercise Tiger, 749 U.S. troops lost their lives after a fleet of German E-boats caught wind of the mock invasion and torpedoed American tank landing ships. Survivors described the Exercise Tiger fiasco as more terrifying than the D-Day landing on Omaha Beach. So, wow.
That's right. That's right.
Jeez.
And engineers of England were coming up with all kinds of ideas to try to enhance the invasion, including floating tanks, where they put balloons around them and they did come off the cargo ships and didn't have to go right to shore. But, of the 20 or so tanks that they did, 15 of them sank. So it wasn't a good idea because of the waves. In calm water, they might have worked, but not with the waves on D-Day.
Yeah. From our text line, 478-8298, my phone said 57, need to update your weather. Well, my phone says 57 too. So, I don't know. I don't know where we're getting the 77 on. Maybe the satellite fell over on top of our roof here. So,
that's right.
I don't know.
Well, where's the thermometer on the top of the Baxter?
Let me look at the weather we use in the morning and see what it says over here. Let's see. It says right now that where are we? Let's see. It says 52. So maybe our weather at the top of the thing is off. So I don't know. So I apologize for putting out the wrong weather.
Well, there you go.
But hey, I'm a weatherman. I'm supposed to be wrong all the time. I mean, come on. Let's see. Also, Germany anticipated this invasion, Shane, as you well know, anticipating an Allied invasion somewhere along the French coast. Hitler charged Rommel with fortifying Nazi defenses in France. In 1943, Rommel completed construction of the Atlantic Wall, Germany's 2,400-mile line of bunkers, landmines, and beachwater obstacles, and it's estimated that the Nazis planted 4 million landmines along Normandy's beaches. So that's what the Allies had waiting for them there when they went ashore.
And the paratroopers of the 101st and 81st Divisions landed behind enemy lines to secure the bridges to prevent a counterattack by the Germans.
Yep, there you are.
Amazing heroism by 16 to 18-year-old men.
I know, jumping at night, too. I mean, you don't know if you're going to run into a tree, top of a building,
Right. Exactly.
water, swamp, coyotes.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Germans.
Yeah, Germans. Yeah, how's it going? Not swell. Let's take a phone call before we have to take a break at the bottom of the hour. 522-TALK is the number. Caller, you are on the Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane. What's going on?
Good morning, Tom and Shane. Great show.
Thanks.
I got an anecdotal story here. I guess I was about 7 years old, and I come home from the little country school I went to, and I had a swastika that I drew on my arm. I didn't know what it meant, didn't know the significance of it, thought it looked kind of cool. And my mother come home from work, and she seen that, and she just about scrubbed my arm raw. And she told me them SOBs killed my brother over there in Europe. His name was Leonard Wortman. And I never forgot that.
Well, I guess not. Yeah,
And additionally, I'd like to tribute to my Uncle Morris Nelson on the other side of the family. He was, like most veterans, they didn't like to talk about much. And the only thing he ever told me, well, he was in the Omaha Beach Landing, which, as everybody knows, is the beach landing that was memorialized in the Saving Private Ryan movie. Yeah. And he told me, he said, at the end of the day, when we were able to count noses out of his company of men, which was roughly 200, there's only 6 of them left.
Wow. I got to go. I'm sorry. Hey, thanks for the call, though. Appreciate it. All right. Take care.
God bless.
23 minutes for the top of the hour. It's Thursday, June 6th, D-Day, 75th anniversary, 2019, 78 degrees outside. I just walked outside, and it's closer to 78 than it is to 58. So I don't know what's going on with the temperature, but it's pretty darn nice out there. So I don't know. But let's take a phone call. 522-TALK is the number, 522-8255. Caller, you on the air? What's going on?
Yes, I'd like to mention a cousin. My name's not important, but his is. He lost his life. Sidney Gustafson. I was going to Montana State, and he joined up. He was part of the invasion of North Africa, and towards the end of that campaign, his group was assigned to go take out a German machine gun nest, Hill 620. It was in North Africa, Tunisia, and he lost his life. But his other brothers, one of them, the Gustafsons up there in northern Montana, one of his brother's sons, that's that Wiley Gustafson, that singing group.
Oh, yeah.
That did that Yodel for Yahoo.
Mm-hmm.
But
there you go.
Yeah, famous guy here.
Hey, he can. Eddie Arnold, wasn't Eddie Arnold who made that great song "Cattle Call"? But he does a better job on that than Eddie Arnold did.
Well, good.
I think. But what I'd like to mention too, that the destroyer commander, what he did on D-Day when Omaha, the guys were going on Omaha. Mm-hmm. There was a 88. I don't know if you've ever heard of these 88 millimeter anti-aircraft guns that the Germans developed. They were really a very effective weapon. Mm-hmm. One of those on each side of Omaha Beach, and they were just creating havoc with the troops down there. I don't know how many people those 88s took out, but a destroyer commander saw that problem or got the word somehow, and he configured his destroyer such that it leaned in low enough so that those big guns, 6'4", 8-inch guns on the side of that ship, and he just cruised right straight up that Omaha Beach, just blasting the hell out of those pillboxes.
Wow.
I'll tell you, that was, I'll never forget that story. Yeah. I don't know what his name was, but thank God for him. Okay.
Amen. Hey, we thank you for your contribution. I appreciate that. Thanks for your family.
God bless you guys for doing this.
All right, we appreciate it.
Our pleasure.
Thank you. All right. Well, let's see. From our text line, let's see. Hollywood clan can't deal with tariff on avocados, so we were talking about that earlier. And, Shane, they had you look up dazzle ships. What's going on with dazzle ships, or did you find?
Well, dazzle camouflage was also known as razzle dazzle or dazzle painting, and it was a family of ships camouflage that was used extensively in World War I. It wasn't used as effectively in World War II, but the concept was created by a marine artist, Norman Wilkinson. And the idea for it was to camouflage ships with different types of painting on it, so the enemy would conceal to the enemy what type of ship it was.
Oh, I see.
Particularly cargo ships and troop transports, right? So yeah, black and white stripes of different natures. So it tried to provide, like I said, to conceal the type of ship, particularly from the air. Planes couldn't tell that.
Yeah.
Okay. A lot of them wanted to go for tankers, right?
Yeah.
That was the first choice, tankers, and then troop ships. That was the second one.
Okay. From our text line 478-8298, 72 here north of Bozeman. So as I said, I walked outside. It's pretty darn nice outside. So it's so nice. I'm going to take a break and go back out there and look again. So we'll be right back right after this. All right, it's 17 minutes till the top of the hour. We're winding down our D-Day observance here. It's Thursday, June 6th, D-Day 75th anniversary, 2019. And 78 degrees I'm showing. Some people are disputing our weather, but I just know it's nice out there. So let's go to the phones. We're asking folks to call in and honor anybody who served between 1939 and 1945 in World War II. So if you had somebody that served and you'd like to honor them, we'd be happy to do that on the air for you. So let's go to the phones. 522-TALK is the number. Caller, you're on the air with Scott, Tom and Shane. Scott and Shane. Yeah. Somebody.
Okay.
Anybody. We don't even know who we are.
So what name are you going with, gentlemen?
Well, I'll go with Tom for now. So
then what color is camouflage?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Camouflage is not a color, by the way.
It isn't.
It's a pattern.
It's a pattern, yeah.
Remember that, gentlemen.
All right.
Hey, I just want to say something, though. Tom,
Go for it.
You got those commercials that really they're like your, what's that one that you play every now and then? Or you
Babble.
Yeah. So since I'm babbling, let me babble about this one. You got one that goes on about Trump and about how he's it's got all these people talking about impeach and when we get there and his family and how they're going to impeach and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And stuff like that gets really old because I think we've passed that point.
Well, I think we have. Unfortunately, our engineer takes care of some of that, and he's had some health issues here lately, so we're going to try to...
I can understand playing that commercial all the time. I'd have some health issues, too. Because you know what? I like the positivity of what's going on.
Yeah.
But when it's all negative like that, it's like, just shut up. We're over it.
Okay. I'll pass that on.
All right.
Thank you
later.
All right. Thanks, man. Okay. Well, there we are.
Okay, my final numbers for the moment. Personnel is everything, and it's incredible. Combat in World War II, 25 million. Auxiliary service, 30 million. Merchant Marines, 50 million. Irregulars, 90 million. Now, this includes Russia, Europe, Canada, and North America. 80 million men and women fought in the war against 30 million Axis, which was Germany and Japan.
Wow.
And the amazing thing was the cost. The GDP cost for the Allies, $98 billion. $98 billion is what it cost to fight that war.
Wow. Holy smokes. From our text line, 478-8298, I would like to honor my maternal grandfather, Robert Densmore, who served as a CB in the Solomon Islands. Besides building aircraft hangars and runways, he had the special task of disarming Japanese booby traps. He was humble, unassuming, and an example of the greatest generation. I'm honored to be his grandson, and we are honored to have you on the show and honored to recognize his service to our country. So thanks for the text.
And that's important because those airfields in the Samoan Islands did two things. They prevented the Japanese invading Australia, and the second thing after that was they helped with the invasion of the Philippines. So huge job done by the Seabees in the southeast or southwest Pacific. Major.
Yeah. Oh, well, we got more numbers. Since Operation Overlord was launched from England, the U.S. military had to ship 7 million tons of supplies to the staging area, plus 450,000 tons of ammunition.
And not only that, but they laid a pipeline from England to Normandy for oil and gasoline. And let us not forget, right now, they were dying on Normandy.
Wow.
75 years ago today.
Yes. Troops and supplies were in place by May, but bad weather delayed the launch date of the invasion. On June 5th, General Eisenhower, the Supreme Allied Commander in charge of Operation Overlord, decided that the invasion would happen the next day, in part because the weather was still rough and Nazi planes were grounded. The same day, 1,000 British bombers dropped 5,000 tons of munitions on Nazi gun batteries along the Normandy coast to cripple Germany's defenses before the imminent invasion. But boy, I forget what the loss of life was in the first hour. Something like 7,000 or 8,000 died in the first hour on the invasion on Omaha Beach or
in Utah.
Yeah, Utah as well. So
9,887 are buried there from the first day. The other thing that was miraculous about D-Day, folks, was that the Germans thought they would attack farther north to get to a port. Well, they outsmarted them on that. They built two ports that they hauled across the English Channel and sunk at Normandy to unload the millions of pounds of logistical material to support the boys that went inland. So American ingenuity, boy, at its best.
That was it. Yeah, that was it for sure. Operation Overlord was divided among sections of beachfront along the Normandy coast, codenamed were west to east. Utah, Omaha, Gold, Juneau, and Sword were the beaches that they.
Juneau was Canadian, Gold and Sword were British, and Utah and Omaha were American.
Yeah.
There you go.
And the D-Day invasion began in the pre-dawn hours of June 6th with thousands of paratroopers landing inland on the Utah and Sword beaches in an attempt to cut off exits and destroy bridges to slow Nazi reinforcements. American paratroopers suffered high casualties at Utah Beach, some drowning under heavy equipment in flooded marshland, others shot out of the sky by Nazi snipers. And the British and Canadian paratroopers met less resistance at Sword Beach and quickly took two key bridges there.
That's right. Major, yeah. The invasion redirected all the tanks to that beach so they could get inland quicker. It was the logistics, Napoleon came up with it first. Logistics move an army.
Yep, that's for sure. Yep, you gotta feed them and clothe them and take care of them. Got to give them ammo,
ammunition.
Ammunition. That's the thing. So, all right, we got to take a quick break here for the Rush update and some other words of wisdom from our sponsors. So stay tuned. Here's Rush. 4 minutes before the top of the hour, it's Thursday, June 6, 2019, 75th anniversary of D-Day, the 6th of June, the invasion of Europe by the Allied forces. 79 degrees outside, like it or not. So, there we go. Let's see. From our text line, Wally Jessen served as a Navy Seabee. It was in China after D-Day and helped build an airstrip. Still alive today, 92 years young. God bless him and all who served, and we appreciate that. Dan's the one that does our opening for the soapbox that we play every hour. So thanks, Dan, for that. And let's see, and tell Dennis to feel better. Dennis, our engineer, of course, having some issues, but My dad served in World War II in London, came home, borrowed a bunch of money, became a success, retired, died 7 years later, and the government vulture swooped down and took 55%. What a country. Wow.
Wow.
Ouch. 27 million dead Soviets in the Great Patriotic War. So there you go.
Yeah, one more thing about the merchant marines, which were important because of the logistics in World War II. 1,554 ships were sunk, 750 on the run to Murmansk. My dad were in 60 convoys and survived. Wow. And real quick story, until 1943, they didn't have any protection on the ships, the cargo ships, and then they mounted a gun on them, some of them, and rockets. They had these rocket pallets, and they had 4 rockets on either side. My dad told me once a story of a U-boat that came up about 800 yards from him, and the Norwegian gunner on it turned this thing on it and fired all 8 rockets at it at the same time and bent it right over and knocked the sub right out of the water. He said that was the one time they thought they were done, but the Norwegian gunner saved him.
All right. There you go. Let's take a phone call. 522-TALK is the number, 522-8255. Calling you on the Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane. What's up?
Good morning, Tom. Hey, Uncle Shane.
Hey, buddy. Thanks for calling.
Yeah, my father-in-law, whom Shane met at my wedding, served on the USS Wasp, whose claim to fame was they shot down the last kamikaze pilot of the war just before it was over in the Pacific. So a little tribute to Paul Holcomb.
There you go, buddy. What a deal.
Yeah. Excellent.
All right, that's all. Thanks.
All right. Hey, thanks for the call.
Thanks
excellent.
for the call.
Yeah, excellent call there. Thanks a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let's see. Got a couple minutes left here.
Yes, we do. And our honor and thanks to the greatest generation, of course.
Yeah.
Because they gave us our generation. And if it wasn't for their generation, the baby boomers wouldn't have created what we did since the 1945 to 65. 78 million of us were born, and we took over. And look what we created in our lifetime was a better world and more people free than at any other time in history. More people fed than at any other time in history. And God bless America and the rest of the allies.
Amen for that. Yeah. All right. Say goodbye, Shane.
Goodbye, Mayor. We'll talk tomorrow, and always be happy, be safe.
All right. We got to go. Thank you.